Anne's News Video, April 2023. Hello and welcome to all of you to this April edition of Anne's News Video, filled with numerous visits, significant events, celebrations with young people, provincial celebrations, and many other interesting activities from the Salesian world. RMG RM Visit to Australia for the centenary of the Salesian presence. The Rector Major, Father Angel Fernandez Artime, visited Australia to share with the Salesians and the local Salesian family the joy of the centenary of the Salesian presence in the country. The visit, which lasted a total of 8 days, began on the 21st of April with the arrival of the 10th successor of Don Bosco in Sydney and ended in Melbourne on 28th April. The Rector Major visited schools, met with young people, and participated in several events during these days. He also presided at the solemn Mass for the centenary of Salesian presence. Father Angel Fernandez Artim spent a day dedicated to community reflection with all the Salesians of Australia. These were days of celebration, fraternity, and much joy for the entire Salesian family. Meeting of new delegates for the Salesian family. From 14th to 20th April, 31 delegates for the Salesian family from different English-speaking provinces and vice provinces around the world gathered at Colle Don Bosco for a short updating course on the various aspects of their service as delegates. The central elements were reflections on the figure of Don Bosco, founder of the vast charismatic movement of the Salesian family, a specific study of the role of the delegate for the Salesian family, knowledge of the Salesian family groups, and the sharing of experiences and spirituality on Salesian places. The delegates also had the opportunity to listen to the words of Father Pascual Chavez, the Rector Major Emeritus, who reflected more deeply on the charter of the charismatic identity of the Salesian family of Don Bosco. International meeting for those responsible for Salesian Bulletin at Valdoco. In Turin, from 22nd to 25th April, over 80 participants from more than 50 countries attended the international meeting for those responsible for the Salesian Bulletin with the theme, The Salesian Bulletin in the Changing World. The days were dedicated to sharing, deepening, training on the theme of the meeting, roundtable conference, visits, group work, and moments of fraternity. Among the main speakers were Father Stefano Martoglio, Vicar of the Rector Major, Father Gildasio Mendes, Councillor for Social Communication, Father Giuseppe Costa, co-spokesperson of the Salesian Congregation, Flavia Truppia, specialist in rhetoric and communication, and the general economer of the Salesian Congregation, Brother Jean-Paul Muller. The last day was devoted to getting to know the places of Don Bosco, starting with Chieri and Castelnuovo Don Bosco. Oops! Salesian Communication Days 2023. On 28th and 29th of April 2023 in Rome at the Salesian Pontifical University, the 13th edition of the Salesian Days of Social Communication was held, an annual event involving young people in initial formation from the Salesians and the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians. The event, as usual, was inspired by the Holy Father's message for the World Day of Social Communications 2023, during which the theme of the meeting, Reading and Interpreting to Announce, was explored together on the first day. The second day began with the Eucharistic celebration presided over by Father Gildas Mendes, and afterwards work continued in different seminars chosen by the participants on topics related to the theme, focusing on the dimension of communication and led by experts. The meeting concluded with the sharing of group work. Africa, Madagascar. DR Congo. More than 6,000 young people at the Palm Sunday procession. In Lubumbashi, Democratic Republic of Congo, at Imara, St. Francis de Sales College, 3,700 primary school pupils and 2,000 secondary school pupils, accompanied by their educators and some parents, celebrated with great joy the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem through the liturgy of Palm Sunday. Together, they took part in the beautiful and long procession, followed by the celebration of Mass in the courtyard of the primary school. Despite the rain that threatened to fall throughout the night, both schools joyfully and meaningfully participated in this celebration before leaving to their families afterwards to begin their Easter holidays. America, South Cone. Brazil, the musical Passion of Christ in Salvador. The play Passion of Christ from the Salesian High School in Salvador is now 10 years old. The play, directed by Gustavo Neri, with an innovative script and a soundtrack composed of pieces by big names from the state of Bahia, is produced by students and alumni of the Salesian High School in Salvador. From the production to the costumes, from the choreography to the performances, a harmonious and complementary collaboration was experienced, where the young students took on a specific role during the creative process. The musical gave the audience new interpretative perspectives and an Easter message of hope. Brazil, BSP, Salesian Youth Easter. At the Salesian Youth Spirituality Center of St. Paul's, 50 young people aged between 17 and 25, belonging to the Salesian provinces and the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians of St. Paul's, took part in the Youth Easter. The young people took part in the celebrations of the Easter Triduum and deepened the biblical, liturgical, and theological moments of the Easter mystery. The highlight of the event was the traditional procession of the dead Christ on Good Friday, with people in the streets rising and moving as the procession passed by. This year, the Salesian Youth Easter also welcomed some members of the Salesian Youth Ministry from the Salesian province of Mexico, Guadalajara. And although the language was different, they were united through the Salesian charism. Brazil, BCG. Indigenous youth and adults prepared by Salesian missionaries receive the sacraments. Young people and adults from the Svante villages, served by St. Dominic Savio Parish, receive the sacraments of baptism, First Communion, and Confirmation. The first celebration took place on Sunday, the 15th of April, when some 20 young people were baptized, confirmed, and received their First Communion. The second celebration took place on Sunday, the 16th of April, in the village of Salvo Felipe, where about 100 people received baptism, confirmation, and First Communion. The Salesian missionaries were represented by the parish priest, Father Aquilino Cere, and Deacon Jose Alves de Oliveira. This is the fruit of the work of the missionaries who have been traveling this land for years, and the work of the current missionaries who are there in this area together with the indigenous people. East Asia, Oceania. Japan, the Catholic Youth Camp. In Miyazaki, Japan, the annual Catholic Youth Camp was held with great joy under the leadership of Father Shinjiro Michael Urata, head of Youth Ministry of the province. It involved 31 high school students and 21 teachers from Catholic schools throughout the Kyushu area, including the Salesians from Miyazaki and some Salesians and sisters from the Salesian family in Tokyo. The young people participated together in moments of prayer, sharing, fraternity, and contemplation. The culmination of the activities was the concluding Mass, during which everyone made a commitment to establish true peace on earth. South Asia. India, a Don Bosco School Marathon for the 60th anniversary. As part of the celebrations for the 60th anniversary of the Don Bosco School in Irinyalakuda, the 5K run, a 5-kilometer marathon, was organized on the 1st of April. The event centered on the slogan, "Run Against Drug Use, Run to Stop Violence Against Women," was inaugurated by the Kerala Minister of Higher Education, Dr. R. Bindu, and was attended by 1,000 participants aged between 2 and 71. It was a very significant moment for the Salesian School, especially for the participation of the young people involved. India, Sing Out Loud concert by Shillong Youth. The campus of Don Bosco Youth Center in Shillong was filled with music on 21st April for the Sing Out Loud concert. Father Paul Olfindro Lincott, Provincial of the Salesian province of Shillong, attended the performance, at the end of which He praised the young singers and urged them to always be grateful to God who has given them this great singing talent. Father Michael Macri, director of the Don Bosco Media Network, also spoke before the concert began. It was also an opportunity to thank the organizers of the event and the vocal coach who worked tirelessly in the preparation of the young singers who gave a beautiful performance to all present.
Everybody, let's rock. Everybody, you know, cell block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Number 47 said to number 3, you're the accused, yeah, but I ever did see. I sure be delighted with your company. Come on and do the jailhouse rock with me, well, let's rock.
I got my ticket for the long way round, the one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to give you shivers, but it sure would be prettier with you. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
North Central Europe. Poland. The Salesian Provincial Feast in Pila. The Salesians of St. Adalbert province of Pila, Poland, celebrated their provincial feast on 22nd April 2023 in the city of Rumia in the north of Poland. It was a day of typical Salesian joy and cheerfulness, during which several anniversaries were celebrated. At the opening, all those present symbolically gathered around the statue of Mary Help of Christians, and then, during the solemn Eucharist presided over by the Provincial, Father Tadeusz Itrich, they gave thanks to God for the entire provincial community, a reality in which Don Bosco's charism is still alive. The morning ended with a theatrical performance prepared by the Debrecno oratory community, after which everyone went for a festive lunch. In the afternoon, there was still time for the table tennis tournament and to reward all those who support the Salesians in a special way in fulfilling their mission at the province level. Croatia. Croatian Youth in Salesian Pilgrimage. About 400 young people from the Salesian province of St. John Bosco in Croatia visited the main Salesian sites, Turin, Valdocco, Castelnuovo Don Bosco, and the Colle Don Bosco and Chieri. These visits left a strong impression on all the pilgrimage participants, both on those who visited them for the first time and those who had already been there. Walking and celebrating the Eucharist there, where Don Bosco also lived, meant a lot to the young people who were accompanied by 20 Salesians, including Father Tihomir Sutalo, Provincial, and Father Branko Bendra, Provincial Delegate for Youth Ministry. Inter-America, Ecuador, Shuar Youth Ministry. During the first weekend of April, the Shuar Youth Meeting, organized by the Salesian Youth Movement, took place with the participation of 145 young people from various communities. During the days, the participants had an experience of sharing and strengthening of their youth leadership with various formative and in-depth discussions on the Rector Major's Strenna 2023 as yeast in the human family of today, the lay dimension of the family of Don Bosco. It was indeed an unforgettable experience for all the boys and girls in the area of Yaupi, Ecuador. Venezuela. Over 2,000 young people proclaimed the gospel. During the Holy Week, the Youth Pastoral Ministry of the Salesian Province of Venezuela organized the activities of the Salesian missionary disciples under the motto, "Like Mary, get up, let us go and serve." Over 2,000 young people gathered in the various Salesian presences to go and proclaim the gospel to children, young people and adults from the country's peripheries. The celebrations, Easter children, Easter youth and Easter adults were animated in this way. The Salesian missionary disciples visited homes, orphanages and retirement homes and animated several stations of the cross. In addition, Missionary and Vocation Day was celebrated, which left a strong impression in the hearts of the young missionaries. The young people returned to their homes happy to have touched the hearts of many people with their testimony. Mediterranean, Italy, 75-year history of Borgo Ragazzi Don Bosco. 75 years ago, in 1948, the Borgo dei Ragazzi di Don Bosco Boys Village, was born. A small town where boys and their growing needs were the focus of the attention and care of so many Salesians and so many people. In these 75 years, Providence has manifested itself in so many ways and in so many people. Salesians, collaborators, benefactors, so much so that right from the start, the Borgo Ragazzi Don Bosco was defined as the work of Providence in Rome for so many boys. Even today, the Borgo Ragazzi Don Bosco remains faithful to its original vocation, that of being a home for so many boys and young men who have had fewer opportunities in life to accompany them in discovering their riches, to learn a job, to realize their dreams of a good life. Italy. Young people at the MGS Day in Turin, Valdoco. On 16th April, about 500 young people took part in the MGS Day held in Turin, Valdoco. The special guest of the day was the actor and playwright Giovanni Schifoni, who met the young people in the theater, offering them the story of a piece of his life as son, husband and father. After lunch and a time of playing together, the boys enjoyed the Eucharistic celebration, which included another important sign of the day, the missionary mandate. All the participants felt all the affection and support of their peers during the handing over of the missionary cross, a symbol of the Salesian style that they will give to those on their path. The day ended with Giovanni Schifoni's show, Even the Saints Have Pimples, in the Grand Theatre of Valdoco, where he interpreted the lives of three saints, Saint Augustine, Saint John of God, and Saint Francesca Romana. It was truly a day of learning and much celebration. Italy, ICP Province Day. As is tradition, on 25th April, the Salesians of Piedmont, Valle di Aosta, and Lithuania gathered together as a family to celebrate the provincial feast. This year, they chose to celebrate it in the Salesian house of Turin, Crocetta, in homage to the 100th anniversary of its foundation. For this, the young students of theology and the community of Crocetta organized a simple moment of theater and animation in which they recalled the history and the work of the Salesians who have passed through it. The provincial feast also gave the opportunity to remember some special anniversaries of the brothers, the so-called jubilees. It was a day of celebration and fraternity under the banner of Salesian joy. Spain, the role of the laity in today's church. On 16th April, the provincial meeting of the Hogares Don Bosco, an ecclesial movement of married couples and family apostolate born within Salesian spirituality, was held in Puerto Llano, Spain. The theme for reflection, the role of the laity in today's church, was presented by Jose Manuel Garcia, delegate of the secular apostolate of Ciudad Real. During the reflection in small groups, the participants shared their reflections, experiences, and initiatives on the role of the laity and the family in the life of the house and the local or diocesan church. The meeting concluded with the celebration of the Eucharist, which underlined an authentic thanksgiving for the vocation received from God. Romania. Meeting of young people from Salesian houses in Romania and Moldova. From 21st to 23rd April, at the Salesian work of Constanța, the young people of the three oratories of Constanța, Bacău, and Chișinău, belonging to the Salesian province, San Marco of northeast Italy, met for the customary MTS meeting, which was attended by about 200 people, including animators, educators, and several Salesian cooperators. The program was very intense, marked by games, fraternal moments, workshops, and sharing, all in the Salesian style that follows Don Bosco's formula for holiness, cheerfulness, study, and piety. That's all what we have for the month of April. We invite you to share and spread this good news from our Salesian world with your brothers, beneficiaries, young people, and collaborators. We look forward to seeing you in the next edition. Thank you.